How's everybody doing today? All right, all right, all right. Now, so it's if I get emotional, just deal with me, right? Because this is something that was created when I had nothing. So, my question to you is by show of hands, how many of you believe media such as TV, radio, print, and video and social media can impact the community, your community? All right, right. So you wake up in the morning, first thing you grab is your cell phone, and that can change the course of your day. Am I correct? All right. So when I was younger, I grew up and I wanted to be two things. I wanted to be a construction worker, and then it changed that I wanted to be a magician, right? So needless to say, there wasn't too many magicians in the hood, right? So you can see that didn't work out well. All right. So just give me a moment and just have a moment of silence for Hoppy who didn't make it. All right. And for this presentation, no animals were harmed during this. All right. So remember when the recession hit, a lot of people lost everything. My wife and I were one. We moved into a beautiful home, and next thing you know, we went just belly up. And in that, my wife became a nurse. And what happened is my story became Eat, Pray, Love, the big black man version, right? I was Ivan Roberts, okay? So what happened was my wife goes to the doctors for her annual physical, and what happens, she calls and she says, "Hey, I'm not coming home." And I'm like, "What do you mean you're not coming home?" She says, "I'm pregnant and the baby is coming out," right? And she had no stomach. We didn't even know she was pregnant. It was just something that it happened. But I didn't know that was going to be the course that changed our lives in the Delaware community. So what happened was my daughter Madison was born 4 months early, 1 pound 3 ounces, and she spent 289 days in the NICU. Now, 289 days in the NICU for some people might be a breeze, but for my wife and I, it definitely wasn't, especially for my wife. And what was so amazing about my wife was she was a nurse, so she advocated for our daughter. She made sure she met the doctors, and she just kept telling them what to do. I need you to change my baby head, move my baby head, rotate. And it was just a hard time for us. So what happened was when Madison finally came home, she came home with three nurses, and it was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you can imagine with me, imagine coming home, 100 yards of oxygen cord being ran through your house, and a nurse, someone there all the time. And so all I could think of, because I lost everything, is I started vlogging about my experience. First it was as a black father, and then it just said, you know what, a father. And I found that it resonated with so many other men out there. So we created these vlogs and we just kept putting it out there, just trying to motivate me, but also motivate others as well. And we found out it was working. So in my journey of Eat, Pray, Love, the black version, I ended up, searching for self, going to Buddhist temples, going to churches, going to masjids, trying to find the reason for my existence. Because we all know, and men, when you lose everything, the first thing you got is nothing. And your pride is gone, and you don't know who you are. You once was security, and now you just feel like you're worthless. And that's how I felt. So I went on this journey, and on this journey, I ended up in a Buddhist temple. And one time in this Buddhist temple, and I'm going to paint this picture because this is what had happened. This white woman walks up to me, a little short, about 5 feet. I'm big as heck, right? Okay, I'm big as heck. And she walks up to me, she grabs my wrist, and she says, "Do you understand the power of pictures?" And I didn't. And I couldn't say anything because at the same time that Madison was being born, my father died, and it just took a lot out of me. So I'm at the booth, I'm there, and she says, "Pictures have what we call still energy. It'll help you relive a moment, a time, a place within a 16th of a second. Take as many pictures as you can, and you will help." And then she interrupted herself, "You will heal millions." So I walked away like, "Okay, crazy lady, whatever you say." So a couple months later, I pulled out my cell phone and I was just taking pictures, random pictures. And then one day, what I did was, on your cell phones you can blow the picture up. I blew it up, and when I blew it up, This is what happened. This is what I got. A picture of a man holding his wife, woman, I don't know who it was, her hand. And what happened was that same feeling that when that little lady grabbed me was the same feeling I felt on this picture. And it was energy. And I said, it was like taking your first hit, right? I kept wanting that feeling. I kept going out and trying to get this feeling because this picture was saying so much without saying anything. It was saying, he was saying to her, I love you. I need you. I'm here to protect you. And she was saying, I'm here for it. I'm here to support you. I'm here to love you. So I kept running around in this crazy, crazy place trying to find that feeling. So one day after that, about 2 months after that, I go to get something to eat and I meet this gentleman and you call it whatever you want to call it. It was God's timing. And I show up at this restaurant and this guy and I are talking. And when we're talking, he said, I'm a cinematographer. And I'm like, a what? He said, I make movies. Won't you come hang out with me? So my first time going out with him, North Philly, I walk into this loft. My friend and I go, and I'm blown away. Doors open. It's lights, it's camera, it's action, it's people, it's everyone. And I walk in, he's like, yo, to everyone, that's Big Ive. Everyone's like, yo, Ive. And I'm like, hey, y'all. And y'all funny. All right, y'all real funny. Because you're supposed to say, nah, Ive, you're not that big. But that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. That's another TED Talk. All right, so I walk in, right, and in there is, he throws me a microphone and he says, mic her up. And I'm like, mic who up? That's the lady from from the radio station. And that's the comedian from TV. And I seen him on HBO. And he said, okay, I get behind the camera. And this was my first shot ever on a camera. And I was finessing it, right? It was on a slider, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit the little thing with it. Thought I was doing something. This was the last shot. We all were so happy. We spent 15 hours on the set, and we all said, everyone grab something, right? Because that's how we finish our shots. So what happened was, we finished the shot. I became the guy's second cameraman, and we traveled all around the United States. And we're doing reality shows, and I learned something from it. And I said to him one day, I said, bro, so you mean to tell me you can take 20 hours, 30 hours, 100 hours, and edit it down to make people believe what you want them to believe? And he said, yes. I said, show me that. So when we were going around, I ran across this quote by Gordon Parks. I saw the camera could be a weapon against poverty, against racism, against all sorts of social wrongs. I knew at that point I had to have a camera. And what was so remarkable about this right here is I was thinking, like when we was traveling and we was doing these shows for people, I was thinking about the media that comes into the urban community. And then I started thinking about the media that just goes out and how people use media to separate us. And I just had this crazy thought. And if you know me, I'll call you and say, yo, I got this crazy idea, right? And so I had this crazy idea that I could create something that brought people together instead of ripping them apart. Brought white, black, Hispanic, regardless of your political background, bring us together. So what I did was I went home, right? And my wife was like, bro, nah, you're not going to do this. Not in my basement. And actually, this is the second basement. I created a studio, and you can see I had a little heat guy over there. Jonathan Whitney used to come and sit right there in that chair. Like everyone used to come in the basement with Big Ive and talk and tell everyone about their experience. I even ran around with the van. Now, you might remember the van because the van was all around Wilmington, and I had no heat in it, right? But I had a couch just in case I got tired. And for some crazy reason, I always kept getting booted. So I ran around telling stories and bringing people a narrative that they haven't seen in Wilmington. So I interviewed a lot of people from diverse backgrounds and just hoping someone can see the difference and be a part of the difference. And that's what was going on. So with that, I came up with 11 positive ways media could transform a community. Now, I can do this, and this is what I do every day. But what this is for is the blueprint for you to do it. Y'all good with that? All right. And now the great thing is you don't need to go out and buy $20,000 cameras. You can use your cell phone and social media. Y'all cool with that? All right, bam, let's go. Accessibility. Ensure that media is accessible to all community members, removing barriers to information. Y'all got that? All right. Next one, balance. Strive for balanced reporting to build trust and avoid bias. It's the perfect rule of journalism. And we need that right now, don't we? All right. Resilience. Highlight stories of resilience to inspire, encourage community members during challenges. Now, this picture right here, who was here at the park with that picture? Okay. This picture I put out on social media, right? And this is the power of social media. I put this picture on social media. I put a call out. Meet me in the park to take a selfie. 200 people showed up, right? What we did was we took something negative and made it positive. And what was so beautiful, a lot of people showed up. The police department showed up. The mayor showed up. It was amazing. So we did that. All right. Awareness. Use media to raise awareness about important issues and opportunities in the community. Y'all cool with that? All right. Connectivity. Foster connections among people, groups, and organizations to strengthen community bonds. There go that van again. Authenticity. Share authentic stories that resonate and reflect the community's true spirit. Dialogue. Encourage open dialogue about community issues through forums, panels, and interactive content. Action. Inspire action by showcasing initiatives and individuals who are making a difference. This picture right here, can you see that one? So I put a call out on Twitter, right? Because I'm always trying to do social experiments. And I said, I want to do this. The police department calls me and they say, what you want to do? I told them. 2 hours later, they shut down Market Street and we had a line dance with police officers in the community, right? It really was amazing. And you got to see it. All right, building. Focus on building future leaders through educational and empowering content. Like Whitney said, the children are the future. All right. Celebrate community successes and recognize individuals and groups contributing to positivity. And again, this is something you could do with your cell phone. If you see something positive, share it. Aspiration. Promote aspirational stories that encourage community members to aim high and dream big. So out of these 11, right? I don't know where that didn't come from. Okay. So out of these 11, only thing that I'm asking you to do is dig down deep and pull out that inner magician. And what does a magician say when at the end of their trick? There you go. Thank you so much.